Hi there, AJ from the digidojo.com. In this mini class I will teach you about Budo movement for a front kick as well as the athletic version. Plus how you should go from the athletic one to the Budo one, but obviously through training. Right, so first have a look at this white belt. This is supposed to be your butt, your knee and your heel. Now you know that for a front kick you should raise your knee, but if you simply raise your knee and do nothing with your leg, you know, it is just hanging there and you will be kicking from that part. Obviously, when this is your butt, you want to bring your heel to your butt as you raise your knee. So that will look something like that, right? In other words, you don't want to do this. You want to pull in that heel at the beginning of the movement so that you can extend it as you're going to kick. Now, when you do this movement, which is an excellent exercise, you're using the portion of the hamstring muscle to contract in order for your heel to move towards your butt. In other words, almost like a bow and arrow, prepare and fire, right? However, later on in your let's say career, you want to move more Budo-like. And imagine that you're 70 years old. I bet you still want to be practicing when you're 70. How strong will your hamstring be to make that quick movement with your leg, right? So Budo is always about the natural principle of movement. So have a look what happens if you very quickly raise the knee. Have a look what happens to your heel when you leave the bottom part of your leg relaxed. See? If you move your heel fast, it's natural that your heel will move up quickly. Have a look. So if I raise it slowly, obviously nothing happens. But if I raise it quickly and relax my lower leg, it will move there. So then you can execute a quick kick. So here's what we're going to do. So take the left stance, please. Now we want to first get a good contraction in that hamstring. So let's repeat this simple exercise 10 times. Hey, ich, nee, sam. Doesn't have to be fast, you need that contraction. Go, ruk, shich, hach, kye, jup. High left knee, ich, nee, go. Watch the angle of my foot, toes pointing forward. And let's start again. Hey, ich, nee, sam, she, go. Ruk, good contraction, shich, hach, kye, jup. Okay, so now our right leg again. We're gonna do the same thing with that contraction, but we're going to let that foot just sort of hang loose. So you wanna pull. And you can also stand like this if you like. I prefer to get a little bit more towards the end product. So like this, and just let your foot move all over the place. So 5 more times. Alright, high left leg. Remember to loosen up that ankle. Just don't do anything. Only pull your heel with your hamstring. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, we have to connect it to a kick. Now before we move on, do note that pointing the toes forward is a very powerful way. Especially if you're going to attack from a close range. You don't want to do this and then sort of change it and then kick the shin. You want it to be prepared in advance. But that's towards application. So that said, back to basics. This time, take kamae and open your left hand. Then raise your knee quickly and try to still let that lower leg relax. Sam, she, it may move a little bit forward, that's no problem. Go, ruk, shich, hach, kye, jup, high, right stance, ich, nee, sam, she, go, ruk, shich, hach, kye, jup. By the way, this action happens the best if you actually take that step and actually start to kick. So if you're going to review yourself or whatever, don't mind about that in this exercise, right? So moving on to the next stage is adding a kick, but we're going to work in rhythm. So you're going to do 1, 2, and hold it slightly after the pull. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Again, right stance. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right. So now, hamstring contraction and quad compression, right? So hamstring on, quad extended, quad compression, and kick. Now we have to move on to raise that heel without the aid of the hamstring. Take stance. Now we're going to work with this compression. In other words, if you don't make this compression, have a look, imagine, right? Application theory wise, if I'm going to do this, obviously you can tell my movement. You can see me moving all over the place, right? If I'm going to change my guard, then load and kick, it's very easy to spot. It has its time and place. However, the idea is, of course you can see something, but that you can see less. So you want to compress this area using that internal muscle, then kick, all right? So let's take stance. Try to bring this part together, like this, right? 1, 2, 3, and use that to kick. If you have a lot of problems like that, pull your shoulder blades, keep them pulled. 1, 2, 3. Again, if you have that problem, shoulder blade, 1, 2, 3. One more time, shoulders, 1, 2, 3. So now that you have the hang of that type of compression to raise without signal or less signal, now it's time to focus on the knee to the center line, because you don't want to do this. You want to make the compression already towards the center line. So direct that compression, even though you may only make this short of move. Don't direct it there, but direct it there. Take stance. 1, 2, 3. Switch stance. 1, 2, 3. Again, every time that compression. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Height. Okay, so now just kick. Try to do this and raise that knee quick so that your heel will move by itself without the need of contraction. 10 times to finalize this mini training, guys. Right leg, even in your brain. Boom. Take stance. Kick left. No signal whatsoever. Kick right. Left. Right. Left. 2 more. Ready? Focus. Go. Bam. Ready? Hey. All right. That's a training for today's mini class, guys. Your front kick, remember? You can make a conscious contraction. You can also use dynamics in order to let that happen. Depending on your age, depending on your stage, use the contraction one before you move on to the biomechanics one. The reason is simple. If you try to start with the way, let's say the ultimate Budo way, maybe your muscle won't have the quality it needs in order to execute that movement. Now beware, right? We are doing karate, which means we do explosive movement. So that means your muscle must be trained to go on and off, right? To make that explosive movement. That even though I'm in this whatever stance, bam, I can do that instantly. You know, this leg moves quickly there. This leg opens up quickly there. Body opens up. All these aspects must happen in a split second without the need of conscious preparation. However, you can use all kinds of complicated stuff, but in the end, it is the muscle that is going to make that movement. So you need to train these muscles. So like I said, depending on your age, depending on your level, make sure you pick the right method, have the right tool for the job, so that eventually you can move on to the ultimate movements. Thanks for training, guys. Hope you enjoyed this one. Interesting as well as entertaining. Add it to your regime. And as I've said before, I wrote the Square Meter Methods book so that you can practice at home on the spot. And there's a free copy of waiting for you inside the digidojo.com. Click the button on top of this video or in the description, and I'll see you on the inside.